Here's something that sounds impossible. There is a debt payoff strategy that can save you up to 85% of the interest you would normally pay on your credit card debt. This is not clickbait, it's math. Today we're tackling the debate between the 0% APR balance transfer card and debt consolidation loans. Both promise to get you out of credit card debt, but which one gets you debt-free faster? And more importantly, if you use one of them the wrong way, it could do the opposite. Here's a counterintuitive truth. A 0% balance transfer credit card can actually keep you in debt longer than just doing nothing different at all. 0%, no interest, and it can still slow you down. How is that even possible? Imagine you have debt spread across 3 or 4 credit cards. You transfer all of it onto a shiny new 0% balance transfer card. Feels like progress, right? One balance, one payment, 0 interest. What could go wrong? Well, here's the problem. Most credit cards require a minimum payment of just 1% of your balance or $30, whichever is higher. That 1% principal paydown is so small that it takes forever to pay off a balance. You really only speed up when you hit that $30 minimum. When your debt was spread across several cards, you would eventually hit that flat minimum every single card. Combine them into one big balance, and now you only hit one flat minimum, and on a much bigger number. Instead of paying everything off in 21 years, now it's 30. And here's the fix, and it is almost stupidly simple. After you transfer the funds to the new card, keep paying what your old minimum payment used to be, combined. Not the new lower minimum due payment. Your original number. Do that and you are suddenly making real progress. Because when you aren't paying interest, every single dollar goes straight to principal. That one decision, keeping your payment the same instead of letting it shrink, is the difference between a balance transfer that traps you and a balance transfer that frees you. And once you understand that, it changes how you should think about the entire debt consolidation decision, including whether a personal loan might actually serve you better. If this kind of breakdown is useful, like this video and subscribe. It helps a lot. Now let's talk about how autopay can work against you. I'm a huge advocate for autopay on your monthly bills. When your bills are on autopay, you never incur late fees and never miss a payment, so your credit score gets a positive boost. But there is a time when autopay might be quietly keeping you in debt. When your minimum payment is on autopilot, it feels like you are handling it. The bill gets paid. Nothing bounces. Life goes on. But paying the minimum on credit card debt can take over 20 years to pay off, even if you never charge another dollar on that card again. 20 years. That's not a plan. That's drift. This is exactly why a debt consolidation loan appeals to so many people trying to get serious about debt payoff. A personal loan is amortized, meaning every single payment is the same amount for the life of the loan, and every payment forces more principal down than the one before it. There is no minimum payment trap to fall into because there is no minimum. There's just the payment on a fixed schedule until the debt is gone. Making extra payments does shorten the loan term, but it doesn't change the monthly payment. That payment is a relentless march to the point of being debt-free. If you are the kind of person who wants a plan you can set and actually forget, instead of one you have to manage and optimize every single month, that structure matters. It is not just about the math anymore. It's about whether your strategy fits with how you actually behave with money. So now we have two real contenders: a 0% balance transfer, if you manage it aggressively, and a personal loan, which manages the discipline for you. Let's break down exactly how each one works, starting with the balance transfer. How does a credit card company make money offering 0% interest for a year or more? Well, it's not free money. Understanding how the credit card company expects to make money can help you know how to avoid getting trapped in the debt. A 0% APR transfer card offers you a promotional window, often 12 to 21 months, where the balance you move onto that card accrues no interest at all. After the window closes, the regular credit card interest rate kicks back in, even for all the balances that you still have on there that you transferred before. And it is usually just as high as any other credit card. But 0% interest does not mean zero cost. Almost every balance transfer card charges a balance transfer fee, typically 3 to 5% of the amount you move. Transfer $10,000 and you might start with a balance of $10,500. That fee is still dramatically cheaper than the interest you would have paid, but it's not nothing. And credit card companies are not doing this out of generosity. They are betting on three things: that you will add new purchases to the card during the promo period that is not covered with that 0% APR, that you will still be carrying a balance when the promotional period ends, and that you will keep the card open for years after, long after the offer that got you in the door is gone. Understanding those incentives is important because it tells you exactly how to use this tool without falling into the trap the credit card companies are quietly counting on. If you are carrying credit card debt right now, this next part might make you angry, in a good way. If you are only making minimum payments, roughly 2/3 of that payment is going straight to interest. On a $500 minimum payment, that could mean $325 is doing absolutely nothing for your balance. It is just the cost of carrying the debt. Move that same balance to a 0% card, keep paying $500, and now all $500 goes to the principal. 3 months of progress in one payment. Do that consistently through an 18-month promotional period, and you can cover more than 4 years of debt payoff progress in a year and a half. That is the real power of balance transfer, not the 0% rate by itself, the redirection of your payment from interest to principal. But here's the trap. If you let your payment shrink down to the new lower minimum, you lose almost all of that advantage. The 0% offer shouldn't be a discount on your payment. It is a discount on interest, meant to be reinvested into paying down your balance faster. Miss that distinction, and the whole strategy falls apart. And it can fall apart in a big way. If you use a 0% balance transfer credit card to consolidate your debt and only pay the minimum, you could add another 9 years to your debt. And by adding that time, you end up paying the same in interest as you would have if you just stayed with your original credit cards. But that isn't a guarantee, it's just a risk. Used the right way, a 0% balance transfer card could be a potent accelerant to your debt payoff efforts. So who should actually consider one of these cards? And just as importantly, who should not? Not everyone qualifies for one of these cards, and honestly, not everyone should want one, even if they do qualify. You typically need a solid credit score to get approved, and a couple of recent late payments can get you denied, even if your score looks fine on paper. So step one is simply finding out what you can qualify for. Beyond qualifying, you need two things to make this work. First, you need the discipline to avoid running up new charges on the card or any other cards you free up in the process. Second, you need the discipline to keep your payment at its old, higher level instead of drifting down to the new minimum. If that structure and discipline sound like more than you want to manage every month, that is exactly where a debt consolidation loan starts to make a lot more sense. Nothing beats 0% interest. Nothing is lower than zero. And yet, a personal loan for debt consolidation can still get you out of debt faster. Here's why. Structure. A debt consolidation loan gives you a fixed interest rate, a fixed monthly payment, and a fixed payoff date. You know from day one the exact month your debt will be gone. There's no revolving credit line tempting you to add new charges, because a personal loan is not that kind of debt. It is a closed installment loan, paid down in equal payments until it hits zero. That structure is valuable for two very different types of people. It helps people who struggle to manage the complexity of juggling balances, shifting minimums, or the temptation to spend. And it helps people who are disciplined but simply don't want to think about their debt every single month. Both of those are completely legitimate reasons to choose a personal loan over a balance transfer. So let's put these two side by side and make the comparison as simple as possible. Here's the entire decision in about 30 seconds. A 0% balance transfer gives you revolving debt, a promotional rate that turns variable once it expires, a payment that can shrink if you let it, and a payoff date that depends entirely on your own discipline. A debt consolidation loan gives you fixed debt, a fixed interest rate for the life of the loan, a fixed payment for every single month, and a payoff date that is locked in the moment you sign. If you know you will keep your payment high and avoid new charges, a balance transfer can save you more in total interest. If you want certainty and structure without having to manage it yourself every month, a personal loan does that job automatically. There's also a third option worth knowing about, and it combines the strengths of both 0% balance transfer and a debt consolidation loan. Open a 0% balance transfer card and pay aggressively during the promotional period. Then, right before the promotional rate expires, roll whatever balance remains into a fixed rate debt consolidation loan. That combination can save you up to 85% of the interest you would have paid by carrying credit card debt long term. Instead of paying $10,000 in interest over the life of the debt, you would only be paying $1,500. It takes more attention to manage, but for the right person, it captures the best of both strategies. Whichever path fits you, the next step is the same. Find out what you actually qualify for, because the rates and terms vary enormously from one lender to the next. This is where most people either save thousands of dollars or leave that money on the table simply because they didn't shop around. At the Yukon project, we have 2 places where you can research your options. If you go to our credit card page, with a single click of a button, you can see what companies are offering balance transfer promotional offers right now. It will immediately tell you how long the promotional period is and what the APR will be after the period. It's a fast, easy place to get an idea of what is out there. You can also go to our lending marketplace. There you can select debt consolidation for the purpose of your loan, the amount you need, and your rough credit score. When you apply to one of the featured lenders, we will automatically check your rate behind the scenes with up to 40 lenders. Our partners use a soft credit check, so applying won't hurt your credit score. We will show you all of your approved offers, so you can confidently identify the best offer for you. Using our tool helps us out, but the real goal is that you find the best deal, period, even if it's not from us. Find the option that actually fits your math, your situation, and your psychology. At the end of the day, getting out of debt faster comes down to one thing: making sure more of every payment goes towards your principal instead of interest. A 0% balance transfer can do that brilliantly if you keep your payment high and keep new charges off the card. A debt consolidation loan can do it automatically with a fixed payment and a fixed finish line. No discipline required beyond making your payment. But neither one fixes the habit or situation that got you into debt in the first place. Pair whichever strategy you choose with a real plan to stop adding new balances, whether that means closing accounts, building an emergency fund, or simply tracking your spending more closely. Debt-free is not a fantasy. It is a math problem with a deadline, and now you know exactly how to solve it. If you have other reasons for picking 0% balance transfer or personal loans, post a comment below. Other people could benefit from your experience. Everybody's better off when we learn from each other. Thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.